A very warm welcome to the Maba Arena. We're in the heart of downtown Kuala Lumpur. It's the venue for the 4th edition of the Seri Mutiara Cup. And we're in the placings matches. We've got a contest about to come up between the host Negri Sembilan Matrix against the Eastern Long Lions for 5th and 6th place. We've just seen the Macau Black Bears outscore Fubon Braves 103-89. Mike McKimmie with a personal best of 39 points for the Black Bears. But our focus is very much on the Matrix, who were just 4 minutes away from making the semi-finals. They had a 10-point lead in their last group game against Partizan before they conceded 13 consecutive points, went on to lose the game. So for the Matrix, a little bit of redemption, the very, very least they will want to make in this edition is 5th place. Alongside me in the commentary box today is Ben Ibrahim, who's well known on the local basketball scene. And Ben, we'll talk more about Matrix in a moment, but Eastern Long Lions, they too will be disappointed not to be in the Final Four.
Definitely, they went down to the Texas All-Stars the other day, Des, and their first quarter was an absolute, well, not the greatest performance, let me just say if I'm being diplomatic, but in the second and third quarter, it was amazing, playing really good defense. They were only 6 points down at the end of the third quarter, but the defense just stopped in the fourth quarter, and the Texas team killed them with that transition offense.
As for the Matrix, we spoke about them. They were there, they were 4 minutes away, and then a couple of three-pointers, a couple of two-pointers later, it evaporated. What's the mood like in the Matrix camp?
Well, they're a bit down at the moment. I spoke to Brian Lester before the game. He wants to give the locals more game time, but they've got to defend the perimeter.
In terms of getting game time, the locals, we're going to be starting with Yi Hao and also Ong Wei Yong on the floor, up against the giant 7'5" Sam Degara. But first possession goes the way of Dut Jok. And Jock was scoring three-pointers for fun in the first quarter in that match in the group stages. Quick turnover. Xu Wing, faced by Ong Wei Yong. Good pace, Xu Ying looks on the outside. Elliott steps inside and a turnover. And Jock will draw the foul. And it's gone against the Trey Wedwang Gilder. So a slow start for both sides.
Very slow start, and Marcus Elliott telling me before the game, he was just saying, you know what, we've got to share the ball more, we've got to move the ball a lot quicker, up-tempo. That's what they learned from the Texas game. So they're trying to play a faster game, but can't turn the ball over.
Jock outside, quick hands, faced by Gilder. Again, a turnover comes in. Elliott in transition. Little jumper, that's not good. Nothing's stuck at the moment, and Yi Hao comes away with possession for the Matrix. A veer under the bucket for two, and Degara uses full 7'5". Goaltending is a veer, he's saying, and it's a fair enough request. And the first points come in from Xu Wing for three.
I thought Avia had a case there. That was a 50-50 call, as we can see right here. For the big shot right there, knocks that down.
Xu Wing, first points for Eastern Long Lions. Outside is Wei Yong. So difficult when there's a giant in the center, just reaches over, and that puts Walker off. It's so difficult to work your way around Sam Degara because you've got to play around him. You can't play over him or through him.
Yeah, but one thing that I noticed about this Matrix team is just in general, they like to take a lot of rush shots. You know what I mean? I mean, I always think about basketball, take good, clean shots. Get the open look, yes, great, but got to take a good shot. And I feel just throughout this tournament, a lot of rush shots, as we saw there earlier.
Inbound for Yi Hao. Avia with the movement, and that will be possession once again. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Good defense, as you suggested in the group games, is the key to the Long Lions. They do work hard.
Well, that's very Edu Torres basketball right there, the coach of Hong Kong.
And the foul drawn. Dut Jok trying to go to the baseline and hands it down. The foul will go against Marcus Elliott. His first personal.
You see drive right here, which tried to share the ball, but Referee said otherwise.
14 seconds on the shot clock. Because of the foul, it's changed. Jock closed down by Gilda, and another foul is being called, and really, really tight officiating in the early stages.
Well, the referees, they don't take any lip. They don't want to knock. They've been pretty good, I must say, in general this week. Really laying down the law, not taking any back chat from the players or the coaches, but, really sticking to their guns. Well done, referees.
Adam Su, his second personal foul. There's bags of contact. Eventually, Avia gets some clean possession. Hong Wei-yong, 10 seconds on the shot clock. 3-love, the Long Lions are leading. It's thrown away. Avia pressured by Adam Su. And that's just top defending from the Long Lions, smothering defense outside. Time for Wing for 3.
That's a great cross-court pass there by Marcus Elliott, but it started from the hustle just outside the perimeter. Good defense, Hong Kong.
Good Jock goes for the 3, breaks to Yi Hao. Again, blue shirts everywhere. A veer over the big body of Dagara, who takes the rebound. Elliott in transition. Trying to come from the outside was Hong Wei-yong. He'll pick up the foul, first team foul against the Matrix.
And Des, this is really, really good pressure defense here by Hong Kong. I mean, they're really sticking to their game plan. I mean, that's what won them a championship in the ASEAN Basketball League 2 seasons ago. So they're trying to get back to that. That's the benchmark.
Dagara fancies himself as a point guard. Well played by Gilda. Gets the possession off the back of Avia's legs.
As we can see right here, Dagara playing facilitator to Gilda, who's had a really, really good tournament on the boards, really crashing those boards. Almost. There he is with the big shot, Gilda.
It's a 3 three-pointers have put the Long Lions into a 9-0 lead early on. This 5th and 6th place playoff. No offense yet from the Matrix. Avia, well, there was, but Avia had his shot taken away from the net eventually. Now that one is goaltending.
That has to be a goaltend. Come on,
Dudjok picks up the first 2 points.
Well, you can't help it when you're that big. Put your hands up.
Wing with Elliott. Inside for Dagara. Under intense pressure. Just flaps it in. It's almost a slam dunk standing up.
And you can't stop that. And one thing that I've said all week long, you've got to put pressure on Dagara. You almost got to make him do a double dribble or a travel. Move his feet because he's a slow guy.
Walker guarded by Dagara. Jock comes on the outside. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Again, suffocating defense. It's out to Hong Wei-yong. He's short. Dagara with the big board. Adam Su dispossessed by Wei-yong. He looks inside to Anthony Walker. He can't get over Dagara. Trying to go through the big man. That is not the answer. Gilda onto Dagara. Good play from Hong Wei-yong. Jock has got support from Avia. And that's thrown away, and still no real offense coming from the Matrix. Hong Wei-yong gets ahead of Dagara. Great hustle.
Decision-making by the Matrix team is being questioned at the moment, Des, and they've got to run some better offensive sets.
Elliott, chance for an easy layup, which he accepts. It's a 13-2 lead. Brian Lester almost forced to call the timeout.
Well, I can't blame him because, I mean, that was terrible defense, terrible decision-making. They've got to refocus again. As we see right here, Marcus Elliott just drives to the cup. I thought that was an and one as well, but referee said continuation. Marcus Elliott, hot start.
Let's get ourselves going, guys. I'm playing hard enough. I work harder. Really, they come out ready to go. I'm not ready.
Brian Lester there trying to really move his troops and motivate them. I spoke to him before the game, tried to tap his mind. He wouldn't give anything away. He just said, I'm just going to play more of the locals. But again, I know this Matrix team quite well. I worked with some of the local players. And it's just about decision making, knowing what to do at the right time.
Jaleel Roberts on the floor for the first time. Jock. Jaleel, attempted screen. Jock, well, he was so decisive during the group games, indecisive now. Elliott round the outside, gets away from the pressure for Roberts, and this is a 15-2 tear by the long lines in the early stages. Roberts over to Gara, good for 2 points for Jaleel. This might be the kind of contest Jaleel will enjoy against Gara.
He will. He's the rim protector of this team. Both men not blessed with pace, but very strong and physical. There it is right there, double team.
And the foul is called against Roberts, who disagrees, and how the umpires deal with that physical confrontation, because they're doing exactly what you wanted them to.
That's right, there it is. There's that double team pressure. They're going to keep you at that. Not an easy man to stop. DeGuara.
Anthony Walker it is who picks up the foul, not Roberts. DeGuara will go to the line. It's important he takes advantage of the fouls that he produces. He doesn't there.
Well, you know what? For a big man, Des, he's not a bad shooter from the free throw line. I must give him that. And he's really lost a lot of weight compared to last season. Don't forget, he was moments away from becoming an ABL champion last season.
1 for 2 for DeGuara. 3 points for him. 16 for the lead. Jock. Ong Wei-Yong trying to set up the play. The clock is skimming down. Avia against suffocating defense from Eastern. Avia gets the shot, it drops in and out. DeGuara gets a touch away. And somehow Matrix have got to find a solution. Xu Wing on the fast break. DeGuara guarded by Roberts inevitably. And Elliott off the rim. Doesn't drop. 16-4 it remains. Walker. Roberts. Skyhook doesn't drop. Slightly rushed, but the intention probably was good, Ben.
Well, like I said, Roberts with that hook shot, that's his signature move, and DeGuara with the putback.
5 points for Sam DeGuara. 18-4, the early lead. And although there's a lot of time to go, it's a big deficit, 14 points to... It's a big hole that the Matrix are putting themselves in. Jock.
Well, I'm just wondering, Des, when Brian Lester will press the panic button, bring on guys like Jeff Bruness, who's a great shooter from downtown, because they really need some production at the moment. They don't want this game to get away from them.
First three-pointer from Dut Jock, though. Brings us down to 11 points. Wing outside. Gilder, he answers 3 for 3.
He's hot today from downtown.
That's his second triple.
Well, look, he was open right there.
Ong Wei-Yong, Walker. Drives, runs into DeGuara, and it just puts him off. The highest yet from DeGuara. Nearly takes out the big ceiling fan hill. And Gilder is blocked off by Anthony Walker, then thrown away. Decision making once again, even the normally reliable Joe Avia. DeGuara!
What a throwdown there by DeGuara. I thought that was a bit of a travel, to be honest, but you know what, continuation.
DeGuara over the shoulder. He is having a fine time out there. 9 points already for DeGuara. And the lead is up to 18 points with 2:30 to play in the first.
This isn't pretty if you're a Matrix fan. And look at that. DeGuara 9 points and 5 rebounds already. He's definitely heading for a double-double.
But it's the hustle as much as anything else. Roberts in and out. Picked up by Marcus Elliott on transition. Gilder in support. Gilder faced by Walker. Roberts grabs the board. Avia, Jock outside for 3. His second 3.
Well, Jock and Walker really keeping Matrix in this game, giving them some much-needed production. That's a good shot right there. He had the open look.
2 for 3 from downtown. This is thrown out to Trey Gilder. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Avia defends. Gilder can't wrap it around. Hongwei Young grabs an unlikely rebound. Roberts drives to the bucket. The sky hook again off the near rim, and soft hands from Joe Avia.
Well done, Avia. He's been doing that all week long, crashing the boards. Very consistent, great talent.
Stepping in for the first time is Tang Chi Hang. Rejected by Roberts. Avia drives outside to Jock. He felt that for momentum purposes that needed to drop for the Negri Sembilan Matrix.
Well, Matrix are playing much better in the last minute or so, Des. I mean, they have much better decisions. Just, you know, the finishing is an issue at the moment, but, you know, a bit much better by Matrix compared to what we saw.
Anthony Walker picks up his second personal foul. Degara goes into double digits. 11 points for him, and he'll go to the line here.
Let's look at that by Degara. You almost, in those kind of situations in the paint, you almost got to double team him. That's the only way to do it, but whether you're quick enough to do it.
11 points, 5 rebounds. Can't convert the extra point, but it's still an impressive tally from Degara.
Now Jeff Finesse on. He's a good shooter, Des. He can give them some much-needed production with his step-back shots. We want this to be close.
Jock keeping Matrix at least close. He's now into double digits, 10 for him. 13 the deficit. Outside, Lee. Oh, give him time and space, he'll punish you.
That's a leadership shot. Team captain Lee Kee, that's what he does best. Good shot, Lee Kee.
Giannis, first involvement. They've really got to find solutions to the problems being posed by Eastern. Have Matrix. Jock. Well, it's nearly put back in. An interesting situation. No points accruing, but the end of a torrid first quarter for Negri Sembilan Matrix. They trail by 16. They have been absolutely dominated in the paint by Sam Degara. What's gone right for the Matrix?
Well, like I said, their passage of play was a bit better in that last 1 minute or so, but they're giving Hong Kong way too many open looks. Look at that defense, especially that perimeter defense. The cross-court pass open in the corner, nobody guarding that corner right there. Bang.
3 early threes set the tone for the quarter. There is the cross-court pass, and the 3 points are put in by Xu Wing, but then it became the Sam Degara show. And so difficult to know how to defend the big man. You've suggested double teaming, didn't work there.
No, it didn't work there, but I mean, one thing that the Matrix has, especially with their imports, they're quite quick, with the exception of Jeff. I mean, Jeff Finesse is quick, but he's a small. But, you know, except Jaleel Roberts and Walker could do the job. But he is really, really hard to stop. The only tactic that most teams try to do in the ABL is also try to, you know, get him to move his feet for the 3-second call in the paint, or get him into foul trouble. But he's far from that today.
It's not only about Degara. He's leading the scoring with 11. Gilder's got himself 6, as has Xu Wing. So the outside shooting is good. They're dominating in the paint. This is so far a walk in the park for the Eastern Long Lions.
And one thing else is that the Matrix team need to do against Hong Kong, they've got to penetrate. They've got the athletes to do it. Some very, very quick guys, especially like Jock and Walker and Verness now on the court. Penetrate. They've got
Jock double digits. Roberts and Avia only 2 points each. No production other than Jock, and they need to do exactly the things Ben Ibrahim has been saying. Ben, in the analyst chair today, and not enjoying what you've seen from the Matrix.
No, I'm not. I mean, I really do like these Matrix guys. I mean, good bunch of guys. I mean, they play hard. They love the game. But you know what? You got to step up.
5 o'clock. Korea's KCC Aegis versus Texas All-Stars in the first of the semi-finals. That's followed at 7 by Illawarra, who've been the outstanding side against the youngsters from Partizan. Easton, it's outside to Lee Key. Fails from an open shot. Walker didn't close him down. Jock in transition, tries to go coast to coast and all succeeds. He's just getting the ball tipped away from him.
Got to be a bit quicker there. Jock's a big, strong athlete. He can drive to the tin quite easily. Again, using that advantage, but not really currently.
Walker just gets it over Dagara.
Needed that big time.
First points for Anthony Walker.
There we see Anthony Walker just drive that floater right there. It's a good move.
Dagara bounce pass picked by Avia. Terrific defending from wing. Oh, we've got an injury. I think somebody was caught just in the eye. The 3 from Lee Key. And Robertson Dagara in a battle. Off the ball, just away to the right. There's a poke in the eye for Tang Chi Hang.
Lee Key open right there. He usually punishes teams from downtown. He's a great shooter, team captain of this team, a veteran of Hong Kong basketball. But again, there's, like I told you earlier, decision making. Why make the heavy passes, short passes? You want to protect the ball. I know that's one thing Brian Lester always emphasizes to his team: protect the ball, then pass the ball. Hope everything's okay here, Des.
He's all right, just wiping the floor. 16-30. Viennas trying to get Roberts involved. Walker seemingly intimidated by the presence of Dagara. Avia isn't. Nice layup off the glass from Joe Avia.
That's a good no-look pass there to Avia. Now they've got to get Avia underneath the basket. He's good at that, not just in terms of scoring, but hustling in terms of crashing the boards. So that's why, sorry.
Dagara versus Roberts. Roberts wins that battle. He can win it. Viennas doesn't take the 3. Good decision, and then thrown away by Anthony Walker. Lee Key on transition. It's a 4-on-2 fast break. Dagara, thank you very much. He's enjoying himself out on the floor today.
It's too easy for him, to be honest, at the moment. Not making it hard enough for him.
Viennas and Avia. Roberts, the jumper for 2. He's just not got his range, Jamil Roberts. 1 for 5 shooting, 20%.
Well, he's not really much of a shooter. He's more of a rim protector, crashing the boards, hook shot man. But Dagara open again.
This time a second successful 3 for Lee Key. 6 points for him, and the gap just gets bigger. 17 now.
Look at that, open again. Got to lock down on defense, play man-to-man defense.
Viennas outside to Roberts. Drives into Dagara. The sky hook is good.
That's what he can do, Jalil Roberts. Got to get him in the paint. Penetration.
4 points for Matrix, big man. Dagara. Oh, the foul will go against Roberts. But you can see they're working on it. They're slowly working out double teaming. Got to make him move, as you were suggesting, Ben.
Well, it's not through not a lack of effort. They are trying, but at the back of Brian Lester's mind, he wants to give more guys some more game time as well. But he doesn't want a blowout loss. I mean, he'll take a close loss, but not a blowout loss.
The foul has gone against Joe Avia there, his first personal. 20-35, first time on the court for 88 Salai. Key closed down. And Pueng also stepping onto the floor for the first time for the Matrix. Viennas. Lovely behind the back skill, and Avia's there. Great communication.
What did I say, Des? Get it to Avia. Get him underneath the basket. Let the other guys do the facilitation. 6
points for Avia. Long range 3. In and out. Avia connects the easy board. 22-35, 6:45 remaining in the second. Avia takes on Key. He'll get the 2 and will go to the line. It's a different opponent when Dagara's not on the floor.
Well, they've literally got more space, and look at that, Avila taking advantage of the mismatch right there over 3 Hong Kong guys, and he'll go to line, hooping the harm.
8 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists already for Joe Avila. As you alluded to, he's been terrifically consistent this week. Probably the outstanding performer for Matrix.
Oh, he's a great talent to watch this. Really love watching him play. He played in this tournament last year as well. And he's a nice guy as well, and he's played in some G League with some G League teams as well. Great future ahead of him.
Lee Key, quick transition. Better D, Walker guarding the area under the boards, and well, is it out of bounds or a foul's being called? Jeff Viennas.
Something Marcus Elliott shared with me during the week, because I know him from the ABL. He's a very nice guy. He's just saying, look, I've only been this is my 2nd week training, so we're very much in pre-season mode. Still, you know, still chugging away at all the good food, but we've got to get into conditions. The season's only 6 weeks away.
Silai, outside. Well, they beat the shot clock, the effort coming in from Ben Wu.
Good movement there by Hong Kong.
And Walker, an easy layup for 2, and now it's a timeout that'll be called by Easton, and they just want to stop the momentum that Matrix have developed.
Well, what Matrix has done is that once they've got a good point guard, a good facilitator, and Jeff Burness is exactly that, then the bigs can work more on offense. Good change.
Adam, just leave here, and you'll have the win right here, okay? So, hey, next defense, look, next defense, watch, you on top, both elbows, both legs on top, right? Go.
Flatten out, let the guard take the top. Okay, good business, come on, you're a shooter here as well. That's all.
Now, I know what Edu Torres was saying to his players. I know him quite well. He's a good guy. We're always sending WhatsApp messages to each other, you know, talking about the games and everything. Very passionate guy, very nice guy, but he's a firm believer in defense. Do not give Hong Kong that space to penetrate, because they've got the quicker players to do it. So really, especially defend the wings.
Elliott guides through. Adam Su outside to TL for 3, and Navia gets there ahead of Ben Wu. Quicker transition. The 3 drops. First points coming in for Feng Chang.
What a shot there. It's great to see by a local as well, Des.
And then he just steps in a little bit too eager to get to the ball, and Marcus Elliott, Quicksilver, draws the foul.
Marcus Elliott, tough competitor, this man.
Good to see the locals getting on the floor, because this kind of opposition is where you'll learn.
Oh, definitely, Des. You're well said, because you only learn from playing better opposition, and that's what they need.
Off the glass, 2 points dropped in from Adam Su. 37-29, but it's only an 8-point deficit. The Matrix have clawed themselves back into this. Avia finds Roberts. Roberts looking for support. Of course, it's Joe Avia who provides it, and after 6 or 7 bobbles, 2 more points.
Avila's doing well. He's the offensive catalyst.
Double digits for Joe Avia. Defensive foul. Anthony Walker's being called. 3 personals now for Anthony Walker.
That's not very good. I saw that earlier in the week. Brian Lester, his bigs were struggling with foul trouble. And I remember last year they recruited a number of 1s and 2s in terms of point guards and shooting guards that really came back to haunt them. So going big this year.
Elliott Stripped to the ball by Avia. Viennas. Jock, oh, lovely spin move from Viennas. Oh! Stellar work.
Jeff Furness splits the D right there. Spin and athletic and just puts it up and scores.
Adam Sue outside. Gilda doesn't drop. It's a 4-point ball game now. It's a completely different mood.
Well, what did I tell you, Des? Get the right man to handle the ball.
Jock, long range three, doesn't drop. Marcus Elliott in transition. He's got Leakey outside of him. Gilda drives to the rim, dispossessed. A 3-on-2 break. Avia looks for Jock, who goes in for two.
Excellent Euro step right there when driving to the cup for Jock. And he saw the mismatch, and Edu Torre is not happy because everything that he just said, told him to do, has gone out the back door. Defense, not protecting that perimeter, and Matrix penetrating.
And then thrown away. It is a different ball game when Sam Degara's not on the floor. He's been off for 5 minutes. It was a 13-point lead when he went on. It's now just 2.
Turnovers, Diz. I mean, this Hong Kong team not protecting the ball. I mean, it's really... They've made about 5 turnovers in the last 90 seconds. That's cost them. That's why it's a 2-point game.
It's 9 apiece. Oh, Björn's over his head. 2 stellar points.
That's why I love Jeff Furness, the man from the Philippines, brought up in America. He knows how to handle the ball, athletic and strong and smart as well.
Remarkable radar. We've got an all-square ball game. Outside the shot for 2. Again, doesn't drop for Marcus Elliott. 2 for 6 shotting. Jock from outside. It's a rather ugly air ball.
Not the prettiest shot.
Degara steps back in. Xu Wing steps back in, who's also had an influential involvement in the game. But now back to square one. That's the joy of hoops. You can have a huge lead, but it can disappear very, very quickly.
Absolutely. Let's see what Matrix can do. They're now trying to play a bit of a zone defense.
Gilda measures the 3.
Good shot there by Troy Gilda. He's been having a good shooting day.
That's his 3rd successful 3. 3 for 4 shooting from outside. Roberts over Degara. Difficult to do, difficult to measure. Gilda. He's got Elliott making a great run, looks for the alley-oop. Didn't quite come off.
Not quite.
Avia drives to the bucket for 2.
That's what it is, penetration right there because of the mismatch. So, well, a good read by Avila now with 12 points and 5 assists.
Final 2 minutes of the first half. A half of 2 quarters. Adam Sue finds Degara. No basket, 3-second violation.
That's a good call. And also good move by the Matrix to put some pressure on Deguara. That's what they got to do. It takes a lot of discipline and effort on that one. And knock the stuffing out of you because playing defense is, you have to be at a certain fitness level. But don't forget, a lot of these guys still in preseason mode.
Yeah, this is a tournament that's developed very nicely as a pre-season tournament, very popular. We're getting the international boys. We'll see Texas and we'll see the boys from Serbia, Partizan later.
I'm really looking forward to that one, Diz. Especially the Serbia guys, they shoot the ball quite okay.
Jock from downtown.
That's a big shot by Jock. Matrix with the lead. Hong Kong, their defense has just gone to sleep a little bit.
Singh's first involvement. Degara. Hassled and Harry gets the 2. Oh, but it's called for travelling.
They must have heard us, Des. Must have heard us.
Again, the locals getting a little bit of floor time, as promised by Brian Lester. Viernes, who's given us 2 of the highlights of this second quarter. We're into the final minute. Viernes dwarfed by Degara. And it's off Degara.
Well, when the Guaras on court, they've got to be a bit more imaginative with their offensive set. Spread the ball a bit more, because you're not going to beat them to the cup. There it is right there.
Playing the outside shot, just short. Put back in by Young, and Gilda gets the touch. Viennas onto the jock from outside. Possession thrown away. But the Matrix remarkably have the lead at 42-40. Remember, they were 17 adrift at one stage near the latter stage of the first quarter, and a timeout called by Hong Kong's Eastern Long Lions.
Yeah, Edu Torres calling the timeout. Not happy with what we've seen in the last sort of about 2 minutes or so. It's a good run here by the Matrix, and even with the Guara on court. So let's see if they can make the adjustments.
First one, wait. 4. All right? See? Like, trade. You inbound. See, you're already there. So quick, pass, catch. 4. Quick. No passing, just right. And Samuel is at the peak. And 4. Right? Let's go, let's go. We have the last shot. Let's go. Come on, 1, 2, 3, it's good.
Final 39 seconds of the quarter, of the half. Matrix leading 42-40. Eastern Long Lions from Hong Kong in possession. Chan Siu Wing. Vergara with the screen. Wing, distant 3, and he hit 2 early 3s, but hasn't hit a bucket since. Viennas. Under intense pressure from Siu Wing. Oh, great dexterity, good screen from Roberts, who's underneath and is well guarded, must be said, by Gilda. 6 seconds on the clock. Elliott, the outside shot for Siu Wing for 3. The Gara will end with a bucket right on the buzzer, and it means at the end of the first quarter, it's to be the Eastern Long Lions who lead by 2 points. They lead 44-42. But it has been really, really tight, Ben Ibrahim.
Yes, it's been a good quarter. There's especially by the Matrix. They made some adjustments. They penetrated. Burness now handling the ball and playing that point guard position. Avila, you know, underneath the basket, taking advantage of mismatches. So they played much, much better.
It is 42-42. My apologies. A little bit eager to give Eastern Long Lions a couple of points. When we come back after the break, we'll have highlights and analysis of a game of 2 quarters. Welcome back to the Maba Basketball Arena in the heart of downtown Kuala Lumpur. Very entertaining little match going on. 5th and 6th place, Negri Sembilan Matrix 42, Eastern Long Lions 42 at the half. But the Long Lions came out absolutely flying. They went 9 points into the lead before we had any kind of offense from the Matrix. Ben Abraham alongside me in the commentary box. They really did come out flying, and the Matrix didn't seem to have any answers to the outside shooting or the big man, Sam Degara.
Well, the transition was much better compared to their previous games. And, you know, that's something that they wanted to fix. And they were playing that high-tempo game, moving the ball really well, sharing it. And Matrix was struggling to guard Deguara, and that's why they had such a good first quarter. But in the second quarter, took the foot off the gas a little bit there.
But Deguara has been such an influential player. When he was on the floor, Lions had just about the freedom of the floor. When he went off, that's when Matrix were able to get their comeback going.
Well, he's almost double trouble there because he can protect the rim, and he's also an enforcer underneath the rim offensively. So, I mean, you've got to make adjustments to your game. You can't just say, okay, he's on, he's off, we make the changes, but you've got to make changes around that as well. Got to be imaginative.
7'5" he is, and no way you can stop him when he's on that big kind of long stride. But they did find a way through. Joe Afia, as usual, was influential in changing the flow of this game.
Well, he was, because Bruness was handling the ball quite well. He was the point guard, and that just freed up Avila, because in the first quarter, Avila was trying to do everything, trying to crash the board, trying to share the ball, trying to score, and he only had 2 points to show for it. When they made the adjustment, well, he was on fire like he is right there.
Avila picking up the points from a lovely assist from Jeff Jens, and Jens was influential in 2 wonderful moves. This is number 1.
Oh, you gotta love that. Des shared the ball really, really. Spin move, athletic, strong, courageous. What a finish by Walker as well. Good team play, Matrix.
Anthony Walker picking up 2 of his 4 points. He's been a little bit becalmed. At the other end, Adam Su came on. At this stage, Degara was off the court, and that's one of the moves about Viennes. Wow, that's just international quality.
I would love to see that on, you know, video over and over again. Small guy, Muggsy Bogue style, not afraid, taking them on, beating them.
A little bit more prosaic, Joe Avia, but that's what he is, prosaic Joe.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, look at that mismatch there. He saw 3 guys short of him, just use his size and strength to his advantage. And look at this right here, almost 4 guys on the big fella, the big Malta-man. But travel.
Called for traveling there. You said double team, maybe quadruple team the big guy. That's the way to stop him.
Yeah, well, he doesn't share the ball in those kind of situations, so it's maybe not such a bad move, because he's not the quickest guy on earth.
Late on, again, Degara, he ended the scoring at the end of the first. That made it 42 apiece. And it's really difficult to call this one, because you said that the Long Lions, they can blow hot and cold. They're in pre-season. The Matrix are almost an experimental side. So how do you see the second half going?
I see it as if both teams can keep the intensity, can both keep the fitness. Hong Kong really showed they're not as fit yet in the fourth quarter. Look at that rebounds, you know, and Matrix out-rebounding Eastern, and Matrix is not much of a rebounding team or franchise. Sharing the ball, okay, not too bad. But again, penetration, that's where you create good offensive sets right there.
They often call it a game of 2 halves, but this was a game of 2 quarters. We'll see what the others come on to. Dude Jockeys kept them in the game, and Avia, as usual, 15 and 12 points respectively. In terms of assists, Avia handed out 5. Trey Gilder has handed out 3 alongside Chan Su Wing with 3 for Eastern Long Lions. Rebounders, Degara, 8. How do you stop him? Although Jaleel has put in a decent effort, 5 big rebounds for Jaleel Roberts. Is that the matchup that you want to see?
It is, and I'd love to see Jaleel Roberts play a more defensive game today. I mean, offense is a bit hot and cold, but if he can stick to his strength, then this could be a very, very tight game.
This could be key. Anthony Walker, 3 fouls so far. 1 more, and you really do worry whether or not he'll be able to stay in the game. Let's focus, though, on the individual score. And Duchok, when things were going really bad, there was a 17-point deficit. He came in with a couple of big 3s. Offensively, he's got such a lot to offer the Matrix.
Definitely, and, you know, he's got to keep 15 points, 3 rebounds. He's been a standout performer this week, but it's just that Brian Lester uses him sparingly to try to give the locals more game time. Because that, to be honest, that's one of Brian Lester's KPIs, give the locals more game time. Like you said earlier, you've got to give them that exposure to this high-level competition.
We've got semi-finals coming up at 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock. KCC Aggies from Korea against Texas All-Stars. That's worth seeing. And then at 7 o'clock, the young Partizan against the rugged Illawarra from Australia. They're the two semi-finals, and those 4 teams will be playing in tomorrow's finals day. It's been a very good, entertaining whole tournament, the Seri Mutiara Cup. We're now coming down to the business end. Second half about to come up, and we look at Sam Degara. And obviously, he's 7'5", he's big, but he's a good ball player as well. What else does he bring into the game, Ben?
No, I mean, he's not just that top enforcer, top rebounder. I mean, in certain situations during the week, you know, in clutch situations, you put him in a certain position, he can get the ball in the net. He's also got those intangibles, that attitude, that hard work and grit. He's not the noisiest guy in the world. He doesn't say much. You just come up to him and say hello. I mean, the first thing he said to me this week, he goes, "I am not Italian." A lot of commentators have called him Italian. He's actually from Malta. But again, he's improved. Nice guy, quiet guy, just a great talent to watch. And a lot of people said that he wouldn't succeed in the ABL, but he was moments away from winning an ABL championship with Mono Vampire, and arguably one of the best players of the series as well. So he's proving the critics wrong.
Look at the turnaround. 30-14 to long lines in the first quarter, 28-12 in the second. You don't see that too often.
No, you don't, but basketball is a game of runs, and who can go on the better runs? You make the adjustments, you make the changes. Matrix made the change in the adjustments in the second quarter, but there's still a lot of basketball left in this game. Who can make the adjustments, and who can, as I always say, play TUFP, technique under fatigue and pressure?
Management speak from Ben Ibrahim. And it's the Matrix who get us underway. Ongwe Yong, shepherded by Wing. I've enjoyed that little battle. And Ong is forced backwards, and that's terrific. Suffocating is the word I've used, defense from Easton. I've used that word several times, and I think it's very apt.
Yeah, it is very apt, well said, but good press there. And that's what you want, that mid-court press, just to get that backcourt. That's very Edu Torres.
That in itself could become an adjective. Then Adam Sue pushes it out wide. Avia gets the touch. 16 seconds when we have the inbound, which will come from Adam Sue. Xu Wing. Elliott with time and space. Adam, the jumper, blocked off by Jalil. Big man. Very nicely done, and the jumper is short. Arms trying to wrap around Joe Avia. Jock underneath, Wei Yong. Avia to the bucket for 2 and draws the foul from Adam Sue.
What did I tell you? Jalil Roberts, when he protects that rim, that's where it starts. That's his strength. And then all of a sudden, Avila's down the other side, penetrating with the hoop and the arm. Got to keep that going for Matrix. Hong Kong, got to wake up and stay with it.
Shooting 7 for 11. And this for the extra point. And for Easton, Adam Sue in foul trouble. He's now on 3 personal.
And Edu Torres also trying to play more of his locals as well in this quarter, which is great to see.
Well, it's hit a blue shirt. They were just sitting on the bench. Yi Hao. Jalil looks for support. Then tries to go around Degara. That's not an easy job. Oh, unlucky. The put back in from Avia.
There he is right there, Avila. Doing the hard work. And he's rewarded. The best player so far for Matrix, in my opinion.
17 points of productivity for Joe Avia. Outside from Xu Wing. Gilder. Jumper. Degara. Elliott again. 3-pointer drops.
That's the Marcus Elliott that we know. That's why you can't give him too much of an open look, because he can punish you. He's a big shot man, especially down the stretch.
7 for Elliott, his first triple. 47-45. Jock. Long range 3.
Big shot there by Jock. They're trading baskets here.
Yeah, it's a heck of a turnaround. 5-point lead. Xu Wing into Degara. He's the central play, steps through and just leans past Jaleel Roberts for a 2.
He didn't really split the D there, he just broke the D. Look at that. Boom, boom. Yeah, too big, too strong. And an excellent finish, to be fair.
Avia, bounce pass, picked up by Shu. Elliott outside for 3. Gilder gets the touch, Elliott keeps it alive, that's brilliant play, and Gilder can lay up for 2.
Where was the Matrix defense? They're all over the place at the moment. Kind of reset.
Double digits for Trey Gilder, 11 for him. Referee calling a stop because they're just wiping the floor over on the far side after, I think it was Hang went down.
Not a bad start by both teams here. But again, it's all about that consistency and that continuity that they're looking for. And, I mean, this isn't a... They're really playing for pride at the moment. So, I mean, Brian Lester not trying to solidify, or Edu Torres trying to solidify any combinations, just trying to get some fitness for all their players.
Yi Hao. Lovely move from Yi Hao.
Wong Yi Hao, he's come a long, long way. The boy from Rawang. From a young 18-year-old man, ABL champion, playing in the SEA Games last year. He's got the confidence. His confidence is always growing. Always great to see. Wong Yi Hao.
Yi Hao's first points. 7 minutes remaining. Second foul has been called there against Wei Yong. Elliott outside. Yes. All square.
He punishes Marcus Elliott. Matrix need to body up on Marcus Elliott. He averaged 25 points 2 seasons ago. ABL MVP.
Roberts, Jock, again outside. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Up and over. Dagara, that's an excellent shot from the Jock.
Nothing but net for Jock. And he needs to keep doing that.
Dagara reaches those long arms. It looks easy, of course, he's 7'5", but there is athleticism.
Well said, look at that. And as he moves right there.
And at the other end, he does a block. And Trey Gilder is on the way, a 2-on-1 break. Beautiful play through the arms, but not converted. Elliott on the outside.
Matrix need to rebound a lot better. I mean, they're not crashing the boards as well as they did in the second. Got to keep that going.
Yi Hao outside for 3.
Like I said, Wong Yi Hao has come a long way.
Five points for Yi Hao. Behind the back from Chan. Ong Wei Yong. Skips past Gilder, finds Avia, drives to the basket. Well, he got over Marcus Elliott but didn't convert, which is rare for Joe Avia. Outside, nothing but net again, this time for Trey Gilder.
Defense and protecting and crashing the boards, that's really not very good. They've got to tighten up on that one, Matrix, if they want to win this game.
Well, Gilder's 4 from 5 from outside. Avia, lovely spin, turn, and jump up for 2.
I've got no complaints about the Matrix offensively, but defense, that's where they've got to really be disciplined. 19 points for Avila.
9 for 14 shooting as well. Although it's nearly always inside, he's still got to get around a man. Gilder at the baseline. Shu Wing. Now they work it to Marcus Elliott. Jaleel gets ahead of Dagara. Just boxed him out. It was his space. Avia. Oh, Yi Hao. Would have been perfect if he just laid it up, but he didn't.
Yeah, it would have been perfect because I've been praising him this whole quarter. Look at that right there. It was a good pass, but he didn't anticipate that by Yi Hao.
5 points, 2 rebounds. Good contribution. And also we're seeing on the floor Ting Junfu for the first time.
That's interesting. Going with a point guard and one of the shortest guys probably in the team.
Degara ahead of Avia, faced by Walker. Authority is the word we're after.
Just throws that down with authority and ease.
21 points for Sam Degara. Outside for Yi Hao. Gets the three. And no call. It did look like there was a foul on him, but he'll take the three. And Gilder will get the two. Walker will draw his fourth personal foul.
Okay, Brian Lester has got a big decision to make here. Does he keep Walker in the game? Trey Gilder there just drove. And Walker thought that his feet was set right defensively. Was that an offensive foul? That's, again, those 50-50 calls.
Well, Brian Lester's kept him out there for now. There's a long way to go. There's 3:41 plus another period to come. Trey Gilder up the line. Gets the extra point. Gilder, 17 points for him. Avia outside. Corbin, he's on the floor for the first time. Degara. Like taking candy from a baby.
And he's reminded that he's a bit cold.
Gilder, Elliott. Good closing down from Ting. And then by Avia. Good hustle, D.
Good hustle, D. Also, got to give credit to Hong Kong. Good rotations these last couple of minutes by the Lions boys. And
Walker steps out, having now received 4 fouls. So Jalil might get a lot of floor time over the next period and a bit.
Yeah, well, I think Brian Lester will probably play him at about the 7th minute in the 4th quarter and just go for it. So Jalil's got to protect the rim. Make him travel.
Difficult shot, it comes off the glass. Gilder, beautiful conversion.
Beats the clock. Well done. Corbin, he's a decent shooter as well. They need production now, the Matrix team.
Corbin. Yi Hao. Yi Hao, nice jumper. Just the shape looked good. Elliott outside for 3. Not quite at his best, Marcus Elliott. He's 2 for 7 from outside.
He blows hot and cold there sometimes, but he hasn't played. One thing about Marcus Elliott, he's not used to not playing, not starting. He's usually in ABL games, he's there almost 80% of the time. But again, Coach Edu Torres looking for fitness. They've got a big game against the new boys on the block on November the 16th in the ABL on game day, opening day.
Fu, Corbin. Oh, Avia receives a buffeting, still hold on to the ball, and he's such an honest pro, is Joe Avia.
He's great to watch, talented, hardworking, nice guy as well.
64 apiece. Roberts will draw that foul.
But that's a much, much better effort by Roberts. He just really put his body, put his elbow into it, and that's good defense. Unfortunately, there was contact right there.
But he's got fouls to play with, Jalil Roberts. That's his first personal. Degara will go to the line, having contributed 21 points, Sam Degara.
He's a good talent, this one. Let's hope he stays in this part of the world, basketball-wise, for a good long time to come. He's played in the Malaysian Pro League. He's played in Thailand. He's now playing in Hong Kong. He's still young, only 27. Hope he doesn't get injured. He's looking after himself quite well.
Well, he slipped inopportunely.
Well, he is human, after all.
Fu. Outside to Avia. Again, takes the difficult jumper. Degara's there ahead of Roberts. Marcus Elliott starts again. A 1-point ball game with 1:30 on the clock at the end of the third. Elliott Oh, thrown away. Fu's got a 3-on-1 break. Oh, and he doesn't take responsibility, and then he does, and scores the 2.
He must have heard you there, Des. Responsibility and accountability. He should have passed that, should have shared that, but he went for the shot. He was lucky he had that time and space.
Elliott. Degara under Roberts for another 2 for Sam Degara.
Roberts looking extremely frustrated.
Final minute of the stanza. Jock. Outside, the screen from Avia, up and over. Degara. Nicely manufactured point from Avia, who's up to 23 points now.
Playing well. But they just got to fix that rebounding, crash the boards a bit better. And they can stay with it.
Elliott. Outside for 3. Again, 2 for 8 now. Hot and cold. Fu to Jock for 3. It's a good fun game of ball.
It is a good fun game of ball, and I must admit, I know Edu Torres is treating this game very seriously, but he's doing a lot of rotations there. And that goes to show you he's looking at the bigger picture. He's thinking about that November 16th game, and which is not that far away, about 5 weeks. So well played there, Edu.
Eastern Long Lions in possession. Pre-season for them. Negri Semblan Matrix, well, they've got the Agon Cup largely to look forward to. Well, some of these players. Outside. Oh, it's in and out. Roberts takes the rebound. The effort from Ricky Yang. And the stanza ends with the Matrix having the narrowest of leads. They lead by 68 to 67. And, well, what a game.
No, it was a great quarter. I mean, I must say that word consistency was the thing that both teams were trying to look for. But Matrix, in terms of they need to be more consistent with in terms of crashing the boards and rebounding. And Hong Kong, in terms of their offensive sets, you know, penetrate or shoot. I mean, Elliott wasn't shooting well, but you know, they've got to just mix it up.
We spoke an awful lot about Sam Degara in the first quarter. I think we need to talk about Joe Avia and what he brings to the table for the Matrix.
Oh, I can't praise him more because he's just so hardworking, talented, you know, hitting his floaters, big shots, penetration, defense. He's an all-round threat.
We're seeing Eastern points here, but we will come to Avia. Outside Yi Hao, he's been involved, so Brian Lester has been good for his word. He's given the locals the chance, and the locals, for the most part, have taken it. But, yeah, Joe Avia.
Joe Avia, amazing guy. I mean, he's very, very consistent. I mean, think about a guy like that. Can you hang on to him? Because you know what? I mean, an athlete like that, he'll want to get some audition time in the G League. He'll want to play with the big boys. But you know what? It's very, very difficult. But to be a world import, live a life with a suitcase, a hotel, and a basketball, and a service apartment, it's not a bad lifestyle. But you know, can you do that wherever?
Young men, they can do anything. This is the Eastern bench, and this is the Matrix bench, and I'm liking the considered way the coaches are talking to the players. No screamers and shouters, or not many in hoops these days.
Well, this is the coach of the Matrix team, and he's, with all due respect to him, he's a man who is very, very impatient, kind of blocking. He coached one of the teams, the SEA Games team, in the SEA Games, and he was just known at Marble Asia for going off all the time. So it's good that there's the good cop, bad cop there. So, you know, but full kudos to Brian Lester for keeping calm and composed.
Okay, final stanza. Call it, Ben Ibrahim, call it.
Oh, overtime.
A cowardly way out.
Oh, a semi-safe way out.
Ricky, you outside. Hang blocked off. Viennas finds Terrell Corbin, the layup for 2.
Is that his first basket of the game?
It is indeed.
Oh, well, that's what he can do. He's more of a 1 and 2 player, so got to give that in with those positions, especially with Burness playing point guard.
To be fair, he only came on the floor in the third quarter. Long distance 3 doesn't drop from Lee Key, who hasn't been as productive as we're used to seeing him. Viennas normally brilliant in possession. Avia throws it away. Jock scrambles. And that's a good hustle from Ricky Yang.
Great hustle start by both teams.
Yang outside. Gilder. Oh, you expect them to drop. Picked up by Ben Wu. Outside this time. Doesn't drop Ben Wu. Beaten by Avia.
I admire the discipline and the attitude of crashing the boards by Matrix. That's much better, but they've got to grab that ball. They've got to take advantage. Big Sam's not on court.
Giannis comes out to Corbin. Lee Key looking to go all the way. Jock lets him. Nice reverse over the shoulder from Lee Key.
That's experience by Lee Key. He knew what to do right there. 31 years of age. He's been around the scene for a long time against bigger opponents.
Corbin seeing more floor time. Avia and Jock. Roberts vacates the paint. The foul is conceded and acknowledged by Ben Wu. His first.
Good hustle there, right here. Let's have a look. Penetrates, drives to the cup, almost beats two. And it's a tight one, tough one to call. Tough one to go.
That's why I asked you. That's why you sat on the fence.
I said overtime. You ask me at the 5th minute, I'll give you a prediction. Actually, no, 6th.
Okay. 9 minutes and 59, I'll ask, okay? A little bit of moisture on the court. Free throws, look at these. Not great stats, 3 for 6. There haven't been many foul line shots. But 3 for 6, 50%. You want to be converting better than that. Aegis versus Texas coming up 5 o'clock, the first of the semi-finals, followed by Partizan versus Illawarra at 7. It's the final stages of the Seri Mutiara Cup. This is the battle for 5th and 6th place. And the Matrix just got their noses in front by 2 points after that one-pointer from Duk Jock. There's a lot of movement. The umpire's happy enough to let that one go. Gilder outside to Lee Key for 3. Doesn't drop. And then Ben Wu can't hold on to the ball. And Jock draws the foul from Ricky Yang. Second team foul against the Long Lions.
And I was just about to say there that, you know, Coach Editor is using 3 small locals. And as I said that, Big Sam comes on. And he's definitely going super big right now, Coach Edu.
Giannis. Yeah, there's interference there from Jalil. There's screening and there's blocking.
Offensive foul.
Jalil is called. He was just guiding Dagara away from the ball. And turnovers of possession in such a tight game become critical.
Very much so, especially down the stretch right here. The business end of the game. Got to tighten up, got to body up right now. So all starts from defense.
18-17 in terms of turnovers, so pretty even. Jock just gets a fingertip ahead of Lee Key.
Well, that's something that we want to look at after this game in terms of ball protection. Where did they lose the turn? Where did they lose the ball? Where did they turn it over? Such crucial pass, protect, shoot. That's one thing that coaches always emphasize on.
Rejection from Roberts.
What I say, Roberts, protect the rim. That's what he's good at.
It's easier to do it against Gilder than against Dagara, but nonetheless, great job.
Slightly.
7 seconds on the shot clock. And the turnover is there, and Corbin lined up the big dunk.
Turnovers are a problem for Hong Kong at the moment here. I mean, this is really, really surprising because generally they do protect the ball quite well. Look at that, easy here, and just flies to the cup and puts it in.
Timeout called by Eastern. There's the scoring. Long lines of 30-14 first stanza. Matrix coming right back in the second, edging the third and just edging the fourth as well. So you take away that dreadful first 10 minutes. And the Matrix can look back on this game and say, hey, we've been pretty much controlling it. We had more rebounds in the second, okay, against Degara. You expect to not win the rebound war, but we're winning it. So it's a fairly mature performance from the Matrix. And you mentioned turnovers. 8 second quarter turnovers from the long lions, 5 in the third. And it does hurt you, 19 in total. And in a tight ball game, keeping hold of the ball.
Well, that's a high number of turnovers right there. You'd be very, very concerned if you were both coaches. But again, to be fair, a team still in preseason mode versus a team that has just been recently assembled. So you would expect a little bit of that, but if this was your regular season, you'd be very, very concerned. And it's, you know, early in the fourth quarter, turning the ball over that much.
A scream from De Gea on Viennas. It seems a little bit of overkill.
It is.
Here is Jeff Jans. Roberts couldn't get the shot away. Abir, good movement and the lovely soft hands over Gilder.
He is amazing. But Hong Kong need to body up on him. Down the stretch, they need to stay with him. A bit of a double team as well at times.
It's the biggest Matrix lead. They lead by 7. De Gea has to come out of the paint. Lee Key, lovely bounce pass Gilder. Roberts, one rejection, the second draws the foul, but defend the rim, you say.
Well, Jaleel Roberts, that's what he does well. Just got a bit carried away with that last block right there. He hit the fingers of Trey Gilder. But if he can keep that up, if Matrix can keep that defensive discipline and that attitude up, and really, really get the stops consistently, then they can stop Hong Kong. But Hong Kong, if they're down by this much, they'll look to their shooters, Lee Ki, Jung, and also Elliott, to hit those big shots down the stretch. And they're very, very capable of doing it. They've got the experience to do it.
Single point from Trey Gilder. He moves on to 20. Avia, another terrific outside jumper from Joe Avia.
Nothing but net. I mean, they really should shortlist him for one of the best players of this tournament.
Roberts, a little push into the back. Oh no, it's an offensive foul gone against Sam De Gea.
That's an interesting call right there.
That's a huge call right there. First foul against De Gea. He didn't complain, in all fairness.
Well, like I told you before, he doesn't say much. He gets on with it.
Terrell Corbin. Jock Viens for 3. Oh, steps inside for 2. Off the glass. 6 points for Jeff.
That's a great runner there by Jeff Rennes. Work glass, and that's what he can do to the little man. Here they go.
Corbin for 2, and suddenly it's a 12-point lead for the Matrix.
You want my prediction now?
Yeah. Marcus Elliott needs to hit this, doesn't. Avia picks up the board once again. Jock All credit to the Matrix, because the first quarter they were looking like they were completely outclassed. And they've turned it round. Avia in the act of shooting draws the foul from Sam Degara. Quick feet, move the big man.
Well, that's what you got to do. There's a change right here for Hong Kong, but they just got to keep pounding it away, Matrix. I mean, yes, I mean, 12 points psychologically, you might think you've got this, but no, that's just 4 3-pointers, and you're back in this 2 3-pointers psychologically, and you say, oops, we're only up by 6, so keep pounding.
Avia Will, 27 points for him. Top scoring all players. Timeout has been called by the Eastern Long Lions. They trail by 14, and we've got just over 5 minutes to play. Your thoughts if you're in the Eastern camp, Ben Ibrahim?
Well, basically, got to make the change and got to play the strongest 5 right now. Need the shooters, also need the guys who can penetrate. Get it to Deguara. Hopefully, he'll get you some easy buckets. That's what they need. Keep chipping away. There's still plenty of time left in this one.
No matter, you just go to the elbow, right? Then we distribute, but show up right at the free throw line. And we play man-to-man. You got 31, right? Hey, the 3 small guys, and the defense. And we keep playing. Let's go, come on.
Well, Coach Edu Torres emphasizing man-to-man defense and keep playing. Don't stop hustling. That's very Edu that right there. More about attitude, effort, and then the execution will flow. Matrix here can't get complacent. Got to put this one away.
Remember though, in the last game against Partizan, leading by 10 with 4 to play. Marcus Elliott. Degara drops for 2. There's urgency, a full court press, semi-full court press from Eastern. Corbin looks energized this morning. And a 2 for Tyrell Corbin.
Super energized right there. Great pull-up, saw the open look. Great execution.
Marcus Elliott has to drop, and Jalil ahead of Degara. Elliott 2 for 9 shooting from downtown. 2 for 10. Giannis does well to bounce it off TL.
Smart move there by Jeff Benares. He knew he was beaten. He just drove, and then he saw a potential double team coming up on him. So
Corbin, the jumper doesn't drop. Possession goes the way of Joe Avia. They always look so upset when they don't get the possession. It's clearly off Joe Avia.
Well, that's called the competitive spirit. These guys don't like to lose.
Elliott. Yeah, that will be a foul. In any sport, that will be a foul.
Well, Marcus Elliott, I mean, the difference is he's been very cold from downtown and his shooting. And you can very much tell he's still not at his best, still getting the fitness levels up, working on his technicals. He's 34 years of age, but he doesn't play, he doesn't look 34. He looks after himself very, very well. A lot of sacrifices, and he's played basketball all around the world, South America, Europe, Asia. He's got a great CV.
On the ball, Elliott. Gilder, Degara, blocked by Jock.
Beaten by a smaller man.
Degara with the inbound, of course. So right at the 7-foot goal, Sam. It's difficult for Lee Key.
It's a bit disappointing with that decision there to give it to Lee Key. I knew what he was trying to do. He wanted to give it to Lee Key so Lee Key could hit it from downtown, but too heavy on that one. Like you said, Lee Key doesn't have that kind of height.
Well, Degara, his arm was right in the face of Jalil, and Jalil is going to be so upset that the foul has gone against him because he thought there was rough arm stuff on him.
Let's have a look at that again right here. I think he had a case here. Oh, 60-40 call because I didn't quite see that in terms of the contact. But referees know better.
Roberts now on to 4 personal fouls. Anthony Walker also on 4 fouls, so something's going to have to give soon for the Matrix. We'll just be grateful Degara didn't score.
They're 2 bigs in foul trouble there. That's down the stretch here. They've got to play smart.
Walker will step in for Jalil Roberts. Now he had a lot of time to just sit on the bench, Anthony Walker. He was withdrawn midway through the 3rd quarter. Avia onto Jock. Corbin, jumper for 2. Doesn't drop Elliott. Gilder. Degara. Oh, Walker is out of the game. He's just come on the floor and Anthony Walker is straight out.
What do we say about playing smart? We're playing discipline. And there's a lot of time left, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. This game is not over by a long stretch.
And a timeout call by Brian Lester in response to that because he's just going to have to organise his troops. It's a big lead, 13, but there's 3:30 still to play and a lot can happen in 3:30.
Definitely, so they've got to play smart and also not try to lose the ball and make better decisions in terms of offense. Don't just go for the shot. Corbin there earlier, a bit hot and cold.
Avia top scoring with 29, good job 22. Wangi Howell, the best of the locals, with 8. He certainly contributed 2 big 3-pointers in that. Assists-wise, Avia's dished out 5, Vienna's 4, although Vienna's hardly had any time on the floor today. Rebounds, Roberts 10 big rebounds and Avia 7. Avia approaching a double-double. Good job with 7 as well. So they've done a lot of good work since that 1st quarter. They just don't want to let it all go in the final 3:30.
Well, they don't want deja vu all over again. They just got to body up and play that defense. I mean, I'll be honest, in Malaysia, we don't have that culture of very strong, disciplined defense. It's always run and shoot, and it's more important on how fit you are versus how well you execute. But that has got to change in terms of if Malaysian basketball is going to go forward. And it all starts right here, down the stretch, 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Start by playing D.
These are the stats for Eastham. Degara, a double-double, 27 points, 12 rebounds. Terry Gilder, also a double-double, 20 points and 10 rebounds. So going to the line is Degara.
Showing signs of fatigue right there.
He's 3 of 8 from the foul line.
I'm going to reach out to Coach Doug Marty of Mono Vampire and say, why'd you let him go? He was one of your best players. And no Tyler Lamb in this Hong Kong team this season. He's a great talent. There's a rumor on the street that he might play more for Mono Vampire.
Avia. Lee Key, Elliott, faced by Corbin, trying to change hands. Roberts is called. Now is that Roberts out of the game? It is indeed Jalil Roberts, the 2nd player to be fouled out, and there's still 3 minutes plus to play. The clock hasn't stopped, by the way. They're moving the clock back up, but Jalil Roberts joins Anthony Walker on the sidelines. Ben Ibrahim.
And they're bringing on Liu Wei-yong, the team captain, who there is a massive height difference between Wei Yong and the other players of Hong Kong. So they've got to probably got to go to, like, Verness has got to step up, Corbin's got to step up, take some simple shots from inside. Don't try to do anything fancy. Verness and Corbin, they'll be looking to Verness and Corbin for offensive production. 3 minutes is a lot of time.
Elliott converts 2. The gap is down to 10. Now there's suddenly a bit of tension in the game. The next 60 seconds crucial. Jock goes round. Degara gets the 2.
What did I say? Keep that offense simple. Don't try to take big shots. Don't try to go for glory. Chip away at it.
TL outside into Gilder. He goes through traffic, picks up the 2 and will go to the line.
What did I say earlier about playing defense? Matrix not playing defense at the moment. Put your hands up, as all basketball coaches will tell you, if you don't know what to do in defense.
88-78 with this to come. Single-digit deficit. The bell does toll. Important to use up the 24 seconds in many ways. Time more important than points for the Matrix. Young dispossessed. Turnover is there. Marcus Elliott, Gilder outside of him. Elliott goes coast to coast. Degara picks up the second ball and hand dunks it in. Full court presses on. The lead is just 7. Avia finds the Jock. Easton sense an opportunity. Viernes throws himself to the floor and draws the foul at the same time.
There's a smart move there by Viernes. He knew he could beat the big Sam, but Sam couldn't stay with him.
It's over the foot of Sam Degara, which is a big foot. I'm sure those shoes take a fair amount of building for Sam Degara.
Probably have to fly in your own manufacturing consultant for that one.
Viernes. That takes a little bit of the pressure off.
Gives them a bit of breathing space. But I see a few more timeouts being called before the end of this one.
8 points for Viernes. 90-81 the difference. We're into the final 2 minutes. Elliott. Good turnover as far as Matrix are concerned. Viernes lays up spectacularly for 2.
And with style as well. Hong Kong got to keep pushing the paint.
TL for 3. Big point from Lau Tai Lai. 1:36 on the clock. Corbin eats up the time. Jock. That's fair enough. Viernes can start the play again. Avia can drive to the bucket. And Young gets the 2 and draws the foul from Degara.
As you can see, the Malaysian crowd celebrating like it's a championship. A local making the basket, getting the hoop and the harm right here. Is that the dagger?
Sam Degara's 3rd personal foul. Well, Yu Wei-yong was only brought on as an emergency situation. And he's grabbed a big 3-point play. And a timeout has been called by Eastern Longlines.
Look at that, they're pumped up. They're celebrating. It doesn't happen often. But when it happens, they take it. Still plenty of time left in this one. Tough for Hong Kong, but not impossible.
Coming up next at 5 o'clock. Aggies versus Texas All-Stars. Only overtime will delay that. That is followed by Illawarra versus Boston, the 2 semi-finals of the Seri Mutiara Cup, the 4th edition of this competition. Beijing, the defending champions, not here to defend their title, so we will have new champions. Eastern would like to finish in 5th place if they do, they're going to have to score 11 points in the next 1 minute 20 and take us to overtime.
They need some big shots, need some stops as well. And the guys, not just guys like Digi and also the other guys like Sung and Adam Shu as well. They're capable shooters, but they'll probably be a bit cold at the moment because they haven't had much game time. So let's see if Matrix can finish this off or the Lions can make the roaring comeback.
You had to think about that one. You've been working to get that one in.
Oh yeah, it took me about 2 years to call that one off.
All very friendly out on the floor. Good competitive competition.
Very, I must say, this has been a full credit to the organizers. The quality of the teams this year compared to previous years has just gone up. Well done.
Gilder outside for three. It's short. Young. Bounce pass. Viernes behind the back and Corbin. Fancy down stuff.
That might be the dagger right there. Great eyes by Corbin behind the back. Sorry, by Viernes behind the back. Corbin open. They are cold at the moment with their shots, Hong Kong.
Elliott 2 for 12 from outside. Corbin. He'll bury that. 2 points for Corbin, 12 points for him. This game is done and dusted. The gap is 13, 45 seconds to play. Gilder goes round Avia, who lets him play. Substitute stepping in for the first time. Always nice to get some floor time. Will be Yekin Fu.
Well, Brian Lester, pretty confident that this game is done. He's sending on all his all-local 5. So Corbin to the bench, Avila to the bench. Always great to see auditions getting more game time.
Putinja. Final 40 seconds. Well, they did it the hard way. They came from 14-30 down in the first stanza. Viernes in and out. Degara is on the floor.
Well, I must say, these are the toughest games to win, actually, because you want to give everybody even game time, but as a coach, you want to win the game. Bit of a dilemma.
The job. Third foul for him. As we saw Daniel Onwood-Bono stretch, as they call him, make his first contribution.
Number 7, Daniel
And Onwood-Bono will go to the line for 2.
The man from Canada, right there. Surprised that they didn't use him much. I mean, I think for Coach Edu Torres, it's an audition for him whether he can really step up to the plate and be that backup point guard during the ABL season, or shooting guard for that matter as well, backcourt player.
Degara fouled in the act of shooting. This time Big Sam will go. 30 points from Sam, 3 fouls. Big contribution, as you'd expect, but in a losing cause. Seven of 12 shooting from the foul line for Degara. Viernes, as they'll just count the clock down. Even in a dead situation, Marcus Elliott can't afford, can't resist being competitive, can he? But it's Negri Sembla Matrix who've taken this one by 11, a surprisingly big margin. It's finished 99-88 in favor of Brian Lester's side.
Well done to both teams for giving us a great game. At the end of the fourth quarter there, Matrix tested with their 2 bigs, fouled out, but, they prevailed, they executed. Hong Kong have got to go back and really look at themselves and say, look, we've got a lot of work to do before November the 16th.
On to the highlights, and Joe Avia really had an important role to play in the third and fourth quarters. The big number 31 there on the marcher. Avia himself when the chips were down, he was the man who the Matrix turned to just to sort things out.
No, I agree with you. He was the difference today. He was on fire. Just great all-round play, crashing the board, sharing the ball, penetrating and scoring. And not easy against with Hong Kong, with two talented bigs of Deguara and Gilder. They played really, really well as well. So full credit, like you said, to Avila. Wong Yi-hao stepped up as well. You know,
8 points for Yi-hao, as Brian Lester did give his local players a little bit of floor time, as he promised. But it was a close game. I mean, coming into the final stanza, there was just 1 point in it. But it was the final quarter where Negri Milan Matrix were able to turn this around. What was the difference, Benny Brink?
Well, it was the Matrix not hitting their shots there. Like guys like Lee Kee and Elliot, and also Sung and Adam Shu, guys who you think could make good shots, didn't. And that was the difference. They were cold in the fourth quarter. And in situations like that, you've got to change your offense. You've got to be a bit more creative and imaginative.
In terms of shooting, the Matrix shot 57% of their field goal attempts, 42 of 74 compared to 45 for the Long Lions. So you turn your stats into that, you shoot nearly 60%, you're going to win a lot of ball games.
No, you don't. I mean, and that's what it's all about. It's all about scoring, and also, but it all starts from defense as well. And both teams, I must say both teams did not play consistent defense, but when they did, it led to offense and entertaining game.
Tyrell Corbin coming in with a 12-point cameo in the third and fourth quarters. 10 of his points coming in the fourth quarters, but it's that man, Joe Avila. Little soft hands there, turning away from Trey Gilder. And, well, Viennas, he was spectacular. Didn't contribute a lot, but what he did, we remember.
No, I mean, the way he shared the ball, the way he brought his teammates into the play, I mean, it's always the hardest thing, and that's why a lot of the Southeast Asian teams, they'll always try to look to recruit a point guard, where more teams try to look to recruit a 4 and a 5 bigs, but you need someone to handle that ball very, very well, like that quarterback.
In the latter stages, they did come back, and the big man, Sam Degarda, was fouled. He also got himself a little bit into foul trouble, but he was the man who completely dominated the first 10 minutes. Credit to the Matrix, they managed to somehow neutralize him a little bit, take the offense, score the points, and go on to take the victory by 11.
No, well said. They changed their game. They knew that he was going to be a nuisance, so they changed it, put a lot of players on him, at times triple team, quadruple team, and at times just stuck with him and really tried to shift his feet. And, that's what they did, and they did it quite well, generally speaking, compared to most teams I've seen.
So, statistics from the shooting, close to 60% for the Matrix, 35 of 60. That's a very important stat there. They were 7 of 14 from downtown, 33 downtown efforts from Eastern, but successful on only 11 of them.
Well, but it goes back to shot selection. You got to select your shots a lot better. Rebounds, good to see that both teams were quite even, but turnovers, that's a massive, massive area of concern for both teams.
It is early season, it is pre-season for both of them. Statistically, Avila 29 points, Sam Degarda top scoring, all for 32 for Eastern Long Lions. There was some good output from Trey Gilder, who was quietly effective, and Dudjok as well, who contributed 24. Assists-wise, Jeff Viennas, he didn't spend a lot of time on the floor, but he got 5 assists during that time. Marcus Elliott and Trey Gilder 4 apiece, as did Chan Siu Wing. Rebounds, Jalil 10, Degara 15, which you'd expect. Gilder again, a really good performance from him. Double-double from Trey Gilder. Dudjok with 7, good all-round contribution, but Avila in every stat, Joe Avila is there.
Definitely best player of this game without a shadow of a doubt, and in my opinion, one of the best players of this tournament.
Okay, semi-finals are coming up next. Earlier on today, Macau Black Bears beat Fubon Braves 103-89. Mike McKinney with 39 points there. The Matrix have just beaten Eastern Long Lions by 11, so there the placings. It gets serious next. It's the semi-finals. Korea's KCC Aegis versus the Texas All-Stars. That's followed by Partizan, who take on Illawarra of Australia. Hope you've enjoyed the placings match. The semi-finals are next.